I had a crazy idea. I had a crazy idea for something that's impossible.
Shazam can identify any song in between 2 to 5 seconds.
And these are professors at Stanford and MIT. They said there is no technology that can do that. It's impossible because of the noise and the scale.
You've got a product that most of us around the world all are delighted by. What do you think created this belief inside of you that says, I can do things people say are impossible?
There was no iTunes, there was no Spotify, there was no digital database. We invented the algorithm that everyone said was impossible.
And that's what I wanted to tell you about today. The creation of Shazam, but also the ways to think differently to create anything.
Chris has 12 patents, one found today within the Google search algorithm.
How did we do this? How did we create this thing that people find magical? Now, before Shazam almost failed, I almost failed. Because I have dyslexia, and I always struggled in academics.
I really believe it gives you superpowers. In fact, they call the thinking of dyslexics, they call it big picture thinking.
We have to question all the assumptions to make sure that we're breaking down to these basic truths, these raw ingredients. That's what leads to the breakthrough ideas.
Turns out our brains are actually wired to think traditionally. We think from what we know. We think from the assumptions because that's efficient.
How do we do this? How can you all think differently to build amazing things? There's these insights, these learnings, these takeaways that anyone can use.
We have a tendency to simply accept friction. Whenever you eliminate cognitive load and you make something that much easier to use, you're creating something that's delightful.
When you think about your own business and what you're doing today, all the problems you're trying to solve, and now you have AI at your disposal and you can do so many more things, what new ideas can you come up with? How can you boldly embrace AI?
Chris is stunning. He's so in his joy, like what he loves doing, and it's very inspiring.
I admired his passion. I admired his obsession. I felt the global impact of him.
We approached the 5 smartest people with PhDs from Stanford, MIT, and Berkeley in audio signal processing and electrical engineering. The number 1 rank was Avery Wang. And luckily, he joined the company as the 4th co-founder of Shazam. A genius with 4 degrees, but there was a problem. Once he joined, he also said it was impossible. The aha moment of Shazam was not, what's that song? That was not the aha moment. The aha moment was, what if you could do it from the sound in the air coming to the microphone of the phone? And I can still remember being in one venture capital firm's office, a very famous VC that you all know, but I won't say. And I can remember that venture capitalist sitting across the table in his slick gray suit, and I showed him the demo of Shazam, and he said, I just don't see why anyone would ever use that. When people hear this Shazam story, the most common question I get asked is, did you ever want to give up? Entrepreneurs ask me that. And I thought about it, and I realized, no, I never wanted to give up. And the reason is because I was so emotionally connected to my dream. And I always knew that we were going to get there eventually. You can feel the impact of what you do, and that makes it so personal. And now, I don't know if you would do this, but I did. I went to my computer and I thought, what was the name of that venture capitalist guy? And I sent him an email, and it said, it turns out people will use this.
Apple is buying Shazam for $401 million.
Our connection to emotions, our personal connection to creating something amazing is what allowed us to beat humongous companies that copied our product and launched their own versions.
Defy those barriers, all those obstacles. Have creative persistence to overcome that system is set up to stop you.
How can you come up with a new way to delight people? a new way by building from basic truths, by thinking differently, by questioning the assumptions. When you do these things, unexpected great things happen.